I am 89 years old now. When people hear that number, they usually smile politely, as if age itself is a fragile thing that might crack under honesty. They ask me how I am, and I say, I'm fine, because that is what old women are supposed to say. What I don't say is that I carry 89 years of living inside me, and 41 years of regret that still wakes me up at night. This is not a story about death. It is a story about life, and how easy it is to waste it while thinking you have forever. I met my husband when I was 22. His name was Daniel. He wasn't the kind of man who entered a room and demanded attention. He was quiet, steady, the sort of person who listened more than he spoke. I was the opposite, full of ambition, full of opinions, full of plans. I wanted more success, more recognition, more life. Daniel loved me from the beginning in a way that felt constant, like gravity, always there, never dramatic. We married young. Everyone said we were lucky, and we were, though I didn't realize it at the time. The early years were busy. Work, bills, routines, responsibilities. I told myself that love didn't need attention, that it could survive on autopilot. Daniel worked hard. I worked harder. I was always tired, always in a hurry, always chasing something just beyond reach. Daniel would come home and ask, "How was your day?" And I would answer without looking up, "Fine, busy." That word, busy, became the background noise of our marriage. He used to bring me tea in the evenings. I would forget to drink it until it went cold. He would notice, quietly take the cup, and pour it out without a word. He learned early not to expect gratitude. I didn't mean to hurt him. That's the cruelest part. I simply assumed he would always be there. Years passed. 10, 20, 30. We raised children, paid mortgages, attended weddings and funerals. Life happened, and I mistook movement for meaning. Daniel grew quieter. I grew sharper. I corrected him in front of people. I dismissed his worries. I rolled my eyes when he tried to talk about feelings. "Why are you so sensitive?" I used to say. I thought honesty was strength. I didn't realize it can also be a weapon. There were nights when he tried to talk, really talk, about feeling invisible, about feeling unnecessary. I would sigh and say, "Can we not do this right now?" And he would nod, always nod, and say, "Of course." I don't remember when he stopped trying. By the time we reached our 60s, we lived like polite strangers sharing history. There was no shouting, no drama, just distance, quiet, comfort without connection. I told myself, this is what long marriages become. I was wrong. When Daniel turned 68, he started getting tired more easily. The doctors said it was nothing serious at first. Age, they said, but age has a way of hiding things. The diagnosis came late, cancer, advanced, aggressive. Suddenly, the man who had spent decades being strong for everyone else was fragile. And I didn't know how to be gentle. I organized appointments, managed medications, took control. Efficiency was my love language, or so I told myself, but what he needed wasn't efficiency, it was me. One evening, near the end, I was sitting beside his hospital bed, scrolling through my phone, answering messages, keeping the world running. He watched me quietly for a long time. Then he said my name. I looked up, annoyed without meaning to be. Yes? His voice was weak but clear. I don't think you ever really saw me. The words landed softly and shattered everything. I opened my mouth to argue, to explain, to defend myself. But something in his eyes stopped me. Not anger, not bitterness, just sadness. I loved you loudly on the inside, he continued. I just wish you had heard it. Tears filled my eyes for the first time in years. I reached for his hand. It felt smaller than I remembered. I'm here now, I said quickly. I'm here. He smiled, not happily, but kindly. I know, he said. You always come when it's almost over. I didn't understand then how final those words were. That night, when visiting hours ended, I leaned close to him. I told him I loved him. I told him I was sorry. I told him all the things I had stored for later. He listened. He squeezed my hand weakly, and then he said the words that changed everything. Don't live the rest of your life the way you lived our marriage, waiting until it's too late. Those were his last clear words. He passed away 2 days later. I was 48 years old when I became a widow. People told me I was strong, that I handled it well, that time would heal me. They were wrong. Time doesn't heal what you refuse to face. It only hardens it. For years after his death, I replayed our life together like a film I could no longer pause. I noticed all the moments I had rushed past, all the kindness I had mistaken for weakness, all the love I had treated as guaranteed. I wasted 41 years believing that presence meant permanence. I believed love could survive neglect, that tomorrow was promised, that apologies could wait. They can't. Now, at 89, my days are quiet, too quiet, the kind of quiet that forces honesty. I sit by the window in the mornings and talk to Daniel, not because I believe he answers, but because I finally know how to listen. I tell him about the weather, about the birds, about how I finally learned what he tried to teach me without words. I learned that love is not proven in grand moments, but in attention, in patience, in choosing someone again and again, even when life is ordinary. I learned that the most dangerous thing you can say to someone you love is later. I see young couples now, glued to screens, rushing through conversations, assuming time is endless. I want to shake them gently and say, look at each other, listen while you still can. Because one day, the voice you ignored will become the silence you would give anything to hear again. If Daniel were here today, I would do everything differently. I would put down my phone. I would let the tea grow cold while we talked. I would listen without planning my response. I would love him out loud, but life does not give refunds. So I live now the way he asked me to. I speak honestly. I forgive quickly. I say what I feel when I feel it. I do not save love for emergencies. And if this story reaches you while the person you love is still alive, still breathing, still waiting, then Daniel's last words did not end with me. They changed everything, just not in time.